Today we're going to read another story, God's Work in Our Lives, and it's called Plum Perfect. One of my happiest memories as a child is the plum trees that we had in our yard, and my dad made this cool contraption with a big long piece of a old rake and a cup so that he could get up to the higher branches and pick the perfect plums. So this story goes. Daddy planted his plum tree with the idea that it would produce luscious purple plums, the tiny, sugary kind, perfect for making wine. But while Daddy hoped for the harvest, Mama and I prayed against it. Back then, a dozen years ago, Daddy grew almost all his fruits and vegetables for homemade wine. The patio was lined with bottles of tomato wine, sweet potato wine, and cucumber carrot wine. Now he awaited the season when he could add his new and potent plum wine. By making his own concoctions, Daddy rationalized his drinking wasn't harmful. He was wrong. The plum tree grew, and so did the control alcohol had over Daddy's life. What had begun as an occasional glass of beer or a jigger of Polish vodka with Grandpa on holidays was destroying him and our family. The plum tree sprouted snowy white blossoms every spring. By summertime we saw a few young plums, but the birds devoured them. In fact, year after year the tree failed to bear fruit. "Thank you, Lord," Mama would whisper. Finally, Daddy's drinking got so bad that he had to be hospitalized. Afterward, he went to a treatment center. Slowly, almost miraculously, his spiritual strength grew. Today he is becoming a gentle and loving father. Last spring, the plum tree blossomed as usual. The fruit began to appear, green at first, then turning to garnet. As the plums ripened, the birds helped themselves, but the tree remained full and the branches bowed under the weight of the fruit. It was time for the long-awaited harvest at last. Mama and I helped Daddy pick his luscious purple plums, the tiny, sugary kind, perfect for making jam. Beautiful story, brought to us by Nancy Taylor. The power of prayer and how it slowed his tree from producing so that he wouldn't have plum wine to get drunk on too. Beautiful story of how God answers our prayers. And then sometimes God doesn't answer our prayers. So I'm going to tack this on to the end of God and Me for day 180, because there's that beautiful song by Garth Brooks. Sometimes I thank God for unanswered prayers. My friend Pat used to love that song because there was a lot of things he had prayed for that didn't come true, and in the end of his life he was glad. He was thankful because he didn't realize God was sparing him from something disastrous. So remember that God is not a wish granter. He definitely has a divine plan down here. Hope you like this story. God's work in our lives.